Hi, you guys. Welcome back. And of course, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy, and in this video, I'm going to tell you guys all about the Derecho that went through the Midwest on August 10th, 2020. So stay tuned. On Monday, August 10th, shortly after 10 a.m., we had a giant storm come through Des Moines, Iowa, and the rest of the state, as well as many other states. This storm was so huge that when I looked out the window, it was as dark as night. And it was also blowing the trees all around, and it was very ominous looking outside, even before the rain was falling down in buckets. So we had all this crazy wind, and these huge giant clouds moved in and just blocked all of the sunlight. And then it just started pouring and hailing, and the storm was crazy. I happened to be at work, of course, because it was a Monday morning. So at work, we heard the tornado sirens in the city going off. So therefore, we all just left our workspace and we went downstairs in the building to seek shelter from the storm, just in case. As we were down there were some windows and doors that we decided to peer out of every once in a while, and this storm was raging. It was blowing all over the place, like I said, and it just wasn't letting up. When the rain was actually falling, it was to the point where you can barely see out in front of you if you look outside, because there's so much rain coming down at once. When it was all said and done and the storm was over, there was so much damage everywhere. And it was all because of these very strong straight line winds that just blew through here. We lost so many trees. We lost so much property. And the farmers even lost some crops and some wheat bins. It was just a very devastating storm that just tore through the city where I live. And if you've watched some videos of mine in the past, you might already know that I live in Des Moines, Iowa. So I'm even wearing my Iowa shirt. I'm representing today. But this storm was a monster of a storm. It was the type of storm I have never experienced in my entire life. We actually lost power and internet during that storm. Right now, it is actually Friday. So this storm happened on Monday, and today it is Friday, and at my home, I still do not have internet connection here. And in my whole neighborhood, our neighbors don't have it either. And the electric power in the house was actually out from the time of the storm, Monday morning, all the way until Wednesday evening. And I have literally never had to live without power for longer than, maybe an hour or something if there was another bad storm. But never for days have I had to live without power and without air conditioning in the summertime. I did, in fact, lived through the floods of 1993 here in Des Moines, Iowa as well. And that summer, we actually lost our water for a very long time. But anyway, we survived. So once everything kind of settled down after this monstrous storm, the word Derecho or Derecho, I think it's Derecho. Yeah, Derecho. This word started popping up everywhere, and everyone was talking about the derecho that came through the Midwest. And I'm just like, what? What the heck is a derecho? I've never heard of this word before. And I have lived in Des Moines, Iowa for most of my life. But evidently this is a true weather event involving the straight line winds at a high speed. So a derecho is somewhat similar to an inland hurricane. After doing a little research about what a derecho is, I learned that there is actually an entire list of derecho events since the time that the word was coined by that professor at the University of Iowa, which cleverly, da 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 da. And I'm not really sure how much the mainstream media has been talking about this derecho that came through, but it actually did cause so much damage to so much property, to so many trees, and in other ways to our environment as well. Because unfortunately, there was even an employee at our grocery store, which is called Hy-Vee, who decided to dump 800 gallons of milk down the rain drain, and that milk ended up polluting the river and actually killing fish. So on top of losing power, losing internet, losing trees that have survived for years and years, we also have now lost fish and have a polluted river. So this derecho is serious. But that, of course, just like any negative and bad situation, there is the positive side of the story as well. So while I was at work on Monday, just as the derecho was winding down, my husband Neil sent me a text message with a picture of the giant pine tree in our backyard, and the pine tree had snapped and fallen. That was extremely heartbreaking for me because I really, really love all of the trees in my yard. So it was disturbing to me to see that and then have to stay at work for the rest of the day, however strange that might sound. And even when I got home from work and finally was able to go see it for myself out there in the backyard, I actually started crying when I actually saw it. And it made me even more sad when I started to think about how the other trees in the backyard also lost their friend. So I was just a hot mess. Anyway, the point of my story is that we had this giant tree to clean up in our backyard. Well, we don't have a chainsaw. We don't have power. On the next day, Neil tried to go out to all these stores all around, like Menards and Home Depot, to try to find a chainsaw. And of course, to no avail, because everybody in town needs a chainsaw right now. It's literally impossible to find them. So he heads back home, and people actually started asking if we needed help after Neil posted a picture of our tree onto Facebook. And so we ended up finding friends who were willing to help and who actually came to us asking if we needed help. So it was actually a wonderful experience of people coming together. It just turned out to be a really awesome situation in the end, because everyone came together and we were able to chop the tree into saw the tree into manageable pieces. The same type of thing also happens in any emergency situation, as we've seen during all these different hurricanes that we've had over the years. And even in 1993, during those floods that I talked about, I remember all of the different large corporations even coming together and creating cans and bottles full of drinking water, filtered water, because we didn't have tap water available anymore for us to drink and to cook with. So the point is that people come together when there is a crisis. And so even the bad situations in life, you can always find the good. Actually, it's in the bad situations where you can actually weed out the bad from the good, because you can really get to know the heart of people as we help each other through the tough situations in life. Well, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you like this video, be sure to click that like button. And of course, if you're a viewer but not yet a subscriber, I would love for you to click subscribe right below this video. And once you have subscribed, you can then click the bell to receive notifications each and every time that I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.